Really. Marina, we're going over to the Supreme Court in the US. They've made a decision, and it's a pretty big decision.
Yeah, this is actually, I think this is a really grave moment, actually, a really big concern for US democracy and justice, because the former president, so President Trump, who was charged with conspiracy to defraud the US, conspiring against the right of Americans to vote, and corruptly obstructing an official proceeding, has basically been given immunity from prosecution.
Well, it's not just him, it's all presidents.
All presidents, right? Yeah. So what they've done is the Supreme Court, who are hugely partisan, right? You've got the majority of judges that sit on that court that are Republican. And the vote went literally according to partisanship. So it was 6 Republican judges voted in favour of Trump.
I think Trump appointed three judges.
Three of them, but they voted politically. So basically what's happened here is you would think that our presidents or those in power should be held to a very high standard, higher than perhaps the rest of us, because they are making and shaping our laws. What they've done here with this vote is they have said that Trump, if he becomes president, is basically above the law.
They're basically saying that the presidents acting on official duty are immune to prosecution. This, of course, has now prompted Donald Trump to say that he would like the judgment overturned that we saw last month when he was found guilty of paying that money, that campaign money, in his what's been called the hush trial. So he's saying, well, actually, that needs to be overturned. But let's have a listen to what President Joe Biden had to say on the verdict. He said that no one should be above the law. Let's have a listen.
Each of us is equal before the law. No one is above the law, not even the President of the United States. I know I will respect the limits of the presidential powers I have for 3.5 years, but any president, including Donald Trump, will now be free to ignore the law.
Well, Trump reacted to this news on social media platform Truth Social. He said, some in caps there, he says today's historic decision by the Supreme Court should end all of crooked Joe Biden's witch hunts against me, including the New York hoaxes and the Manhattan scam cooked up by Soros-backed DA Alvin Bragg. And he just goes on, doesn't he?
This is insane. Can we just put everything aside for 1 minute? We are saying that a president of one of the superpower in the world is going to be immune from prosecution from official acts. Why? And also, he's a convicted felon.
He's now saying that conviction should be overturned. But James, some people have been saying, now I don't know whether legally this is accurate, but it could be that things like the Watergate scandal, looking back on it now, could have actually gone unprosecuted, if you like, because again, it could be deemed as official business.
But I think this is actually shining a light on a problem that has existed for many years within the US system, that it is highly politicised across the court system. And we've had presidents of both sides of that political spectrum who have been caught out for one reason or another. And I suppose with such a level of fame and power, the question is, how do you hold them to account? What I actually think, though, is that the system that they have is not fit for purpose, to the extent that even if, something was overturned or it was changed or otherwise, in fact, what they should be doing is saying people in positions of high office have to be held to, and I agree with you, that you cannot have anybody who's above the law. The question is whether this is the right way to do it, because I think for some of the cases that you highlight that Trump has been taken forward to are very politically motivated, others not. And it's the same with some of the things which have been taken on Joe Biden and pursuing, members of his family. It is so highly politicised over there that I don't think either side is doing itself any favours. And when it comes to governing the largest and the most powerful nation in the world, this is not it.
No. And one last thing on this, the reason this is also dangerous is because if he gets into power in November and then the charges come in, he will have the power potentially to dismiss those charges.
Well, look, there's going to